How many fights in
Okay.
Naruto can you go back to just to watch this for entertainment value versus the fights that you can go back to in Boruto? Like the only ones that I can really think of is like Kashin Koji versus Jigen, Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen, and of course Ashiki and then Baryon Naruto. Like what other elite fights has there really been?
If I'm gonna keep it 1,000, Boruto got more than Shippuden, and it's in less
Oh my
episodes too.
gosh.
Like,
Hold on, hold
but
on. What's the
Boruto,
Gosh.
how much
You
fights
can literally go
do you
back
actually
and
go back and
you
watch?
can go back. I can go back and watch Naruto versus Sasuke a dozen times. I can watch Naruto. I can watch Gar versus Rock Lee. I can watch.
Wait, are we
I
doing?
can't watch that. I
You
can't watch
Are we
that.
can't.
doing?
Oh my goodness.
Are we
No,
doing
matter of fact,
what?
I can watch
Gar?
that because it's Gar.
Are
But
we doing
other
like
fights like
part one to part one? Or are we including a whole part two?
I can do part one.
you have to conclude the whole part two to match up with
I
Boruto.
can go back and watch Naruto and Sasuke fight. Their first fight at the Valley of the End. I can go back and watch a lot of fights, bro.
Right. I mean, if we could go back and watch Boruto episode 65,
Well,
Momoshiki versus Naruto and Sasuke. We
okay,
could
I
go back
said
and
that.
watch Boruto episode 137, Urashiki versus Sasuke, Jiraiya, Boruto,
Or
and Naruto. We go
we
back
can,
and watch.
we can. Really,
Yes.
that was an elite fight.
Yeah. I understand. Urashiki is a terrible villain, but the animation, the actual fight scene, seeing Jiraiya fight along Sasuke the first time that they ever met before in the whole entire series, absolutely, I went back and watched that. Not only that, Boruto episode 189, Kawaki versus Garo, Boruto episode 200 and 201, Delta versus Naruto, Boruto episode 204,
Yo,
Naruto and
how are you
Sasuke
just
versus
going off
G.
the episode numbers like this? Hold on, like just I
I
just.
got it off the top. I got it off the. I do this like cool, right? I'm sorry, yo. Boruto got some. Boruto story wise at this point is not touching Naruto Shippuden. But if we're just going fight scenes, I think Boruto can match up with Naruto.
I can even go back to watching like what's dude's name with the dogs, Kiba. I can watch Kiba fight those two the dudes that had the curse mark. There was like two people in one. I can't remember what the name was. Yeah, that
I
fight was
hated
dope.
that
I
fight
thought that
so
fight was
bad.
pretty cool. I liked
If
it.
we
That-
doing that, if we
Neji
doing that, we
fight
can.
sucked, too.
I'm just saying, if we doing that, we can go back and watch Boruto episode 64 with literally Naruto and Sarada versus Shinki. Like that right there is an amazing fight.
Never,
I mean,
have not
Boruto
been
and
back to
Sarada
watch
versus
that.
Shinki.
Have not been back to watch that, but
You-
I'll check it out though. I'll check it out.
You got. What
I'm
about
not gonna lie to
Shin?
you. I think I'll watch like the little quick battle between Mitsuki and Shinki before I watch that one with Sarada and Boruto.
What
'Cause
about?
No, I was gonna say
what-
it's like Mitsuki was still a savage back then. It's like, oh shit, Mitsuki, he's gonna use Sage Mode versus Shinki, and Shinki's like being touted as like the next major guy in the arc, and the anticipation for that was really dope. But yeah,
I mean, I could
All right,
probably go
well,
back and watch like even on Boruto. I could probably go back to watching some of the like a couple of the Chunin exam fights. I thought they were pretty dope. Like the Kakashi lookalike, can't remember his name off the top of my head. Him and
Aoki.
and Ino,
Hoki.
yeah, Hoki and Ino. I can watch that again. 'Cause
Inoji.
that fight was pretty. Inoji, sorry, that fight was pretty dope. I can go back and
Y'all
watch.
are wild.
I can go back and watch. What's his name?
What about
the samurai
wait a minute,
and
what about
and oh boy, I can't remember nobody.
Tsubaki?
Name, bro. Tsubaki, yeah, I can watch that again.
I think you guys are putting too much stock into the episodes that y'all like, the arcs that y'all are familiar with, like the shooting exam arc.
I haven't even
think-
given my opinion on it, but
I just want to point out a couple more. Just a couple more. I don't want to take everything, but Boruto episode 175, Team 7 versus Deepa, the last one. Let's keep it
Oh, the
1,000.
Team
That
7
right
versus
there. is a
Deepa. I can watch
classic.
that. I can watch that. But then we got fights with like nobody ninja though, like in Naruto that I can go back and watch. Like I remember I did a clip. I cut a clip with Neji versus somebody I have no idea, absolutely no idea who he fought.
So,
And that
people
was
to-
goated, bro.
People to this day still share the fight with Konohama versus some no name when he used his wind style Rasengan for the first time in the series. Like there are no name good fights. Like the Byakuya gang when Naruto had to come save the day and with the ice style, that was a good episode. I think big names, you might not get that from the overall series. Like again, we can't compare Obito versus Kakashi versus let's say Shinken Boruto versus Urashiki Otsutsuki.
But
Even
what
though
do you
that right there is an impeccable fight in
My
my
boy
opinion.
Santos said, I can't watch Kiba do anything. I'm weak.
that's
no,
that's a fact.
I think Kiba versus Naruto, like I think that was a really cool fight.
I don't know. I'd take Mitsuki versus Shinki over that.
I can go back and watch a
Not
lot of fights, is what I'm saying.
I liked Kiba back then because to me Kiba wasn't like he wasn't fart level back then. Like this
Fart
was
level.
before he lost to this was before he lost to Naruto.
Fart level.
So
Yeah.
Oh, he
like,
was
he
fart
go back to,
level.
yes,
I remember
Boy.
what you're talking about. Yeah, you
Those
you
should be
was just being
simplified
funny.
and then just like fart
No,
level.
no. Then Naruto farted in his face or something like that, and he passed out.
Yeah, that's
with
what
the
happened.
Naruto fart. Like even like before then, like Kiba was touted as being like the one of the most like skilled shinobi in his generation. It was like, oh, Naruto's going up against Kiba. He like Shikamaru was like he doesn't stand a chance. His chakra is so he has so much chakra. His chakra is so wild. He's like a wild beast. So they hyped Kiba up a lot. And then Naruto like foes this dude. But what do you mean by like the fights are better? Like, do you mean like the animation, the art, the choreography? Like,
Yeah.
what are you
The
talking about?
choreography. In my
No,
opinion.
that's exactly what I mean.
The choreography.
That's exactly what I mean. Yeah, the animation, art, choreography. I think Boruto is more of a polished product. Not saying that the Naruto Shippuden or Naruto fights are bad. That's what they had for that time.
I don't think
but
the choreography
just like
in
everything,
Boruto is touching Naruto. I'm sorry.
I gotta disagree with that.
I can't.
I would
I
disagree.
I would say like for like okay, Naruto Part 1 and Shippuden, like when they turn up, it's really good, but like there's moments where they have like that wonky Pain versus Naruto art. It's like
That was kind of wonky. Yeah. that
and then like
animation was like, what the heck? That was like one of the best fights, and y'all could not find a better studio to animate this fight. Yeah, so I agree with that one.
to this day, this is why I want like a Naruto Part 1 and 2 remake, like a Dragon Ball Kai, but because to this
yeah, I
day,
want
I'm
it to.
so frustrated with that animation. Like
too.
people are, oh, you just don't understand. You don't understand. Or, look, it's subjective. I get it, and please respect my subjectivity. I hate that art
trash,
style.
bro. It's trash. I don't care what nobody says.
And
It's subjectivity, whatever. It's trash, bro.
And it's the same art that they did for the Madara versus Shinobi Alliance fight. The only difference there is that people really like it was a hype moment. But the animators are the same because I recognize those little. They love those little cubes. They love the little cubes. For some reason, that animator loves doing those. But that kind of segues into like my major point here. The difference for me between like Naruto and I'm including Part 1 and 2 together when I say Naruto. The difference between like Naruto fights and like Boruto is that Boruto looks like when they turn up, their fights are gorgeous. Like the art's beautiful, the animation's beautiful.
I'll give it that.
Choreography's good. Like that Deepa fight, like ooh, man, I watch that fight all the time. I use so many clips in my videos from that fight. That's one of my favorite fights. Like I like that fight better than the Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen, in my opinion. Like that shit is fire. That's one of my all-time favorite fights.
The colors and stuff like that too. I love how they like the art with the colors, especially like when Sasuke. I mean, sorry, I'm saying Sasuke. When Boruto was using the compression Rasengan against Deepa, and then like Mitsuki came behind him in Sage mode, and then Sarada gave him the red with the Sharingan. I thought that was amazing. That was dope. That was a good. Like,
It was great, and like their timing with the music was just
Yeah.
it was so good too. It's like the rock music giving you like that dun, 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 dun. Like it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
But for me, the Naruto fights have depth that Boruto fights just don't have. Like
Bingo.
number one, they're slower, and
Yeah,
they're
that's what
trying to
it's
tell a
too
narrative.
rushed in Boruto. That's what I guess what
Yeah, like-
you can say. Yeah, for sure.
They slow it down and they're trying to like explain a narrative to you. Like, like there's moments in Naruto where like dudes are just staring at each other, and it's like you hear that little music in the background, and then my favorite example of this is like Naruto versus Neji before the fight starts. Naruto just sizing Neji up, and Neji vice versa. They're doing nothing, but you feel the tension. It's building. And then Naruto launches his kunai and run towards him, and Kiba's like, "You idiot! Don't get close. He'll take you out." Like that kind of to me, or like when like Naruto, um, you know, he gets folded by Zabuza and he's about to run away, and then he feels the pain in his arm, which his hand healed. I don't know how he felt anything, but I guess it reminded him of his vow to never give up or whatever. And then like, it's like it's a fight, but in the fight there's like development for the characters, and he's like, I never go back on my word. He puts his headband on. You hear that Sabu, see, like that soundtrack kicking in, that dun dun dun, dun, like it's so fire, bro. Like so for me, the difference, yeah, like Boruto's prettier, the choreography is really dope, but Naruto just has that depth and that tone that it sets, and the pacing is so mastered, beautifully mastered, that to me it just elevates it in a way that Boruto fights just can't compare to.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I just think that like you said, the fighting is a little bit slower paced. Like, another fight, but maybe this is Shippuden though, when they fought was it not Hidan, what's the dude with the multiple hearts?
Kakuzu?
I had his name right there. Yeah, Kakazu. When they fought Kakazu and it was Hidan too, right? Kakazu and Hidan, no?
I mean, the one with multiple hearts is Kakuzu.
I know, but I'm saying they fought Kakazu and Hidan when it was it was Kakashi. Who else was he with? He was with Choji, with Ina Chikacho. Yeah, I thought that was a goated fight, bro. I love that fight. Like the
that's one of my favorite
choreography,
fights.
yeah, the choreography in that fight was amazing.
Like that's the fight I go to when I explain why Kakashi is my favorite character in the franchise.
Bro, that fight
It's
was
like
dope. Kakashi was getting that
he's
man's-
powerful. Like Kakashi's powerful, but he's not so powerful to where you know he's just gonna watch. Always tension with his fights because he's like, fuck, like Kakashi's that dude. He's one of the main characters, but he's not the main character. He's really powerful, and everyone knows his legend in the verse. Oh, it's Kakashi, the copycat ninja. Oh, it's Kakashi. He's in my bingo book. But it's always in the back of your mind, like, man, he might die. And to me, like that's what makes his fight so elite. It's just like he's really good. He's gonna pull off some really dope stuff, but it's gonna be like kind of quick because he doesn't have the reserves. And it's going to be like really stressful because you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, that's an amazing fight. I watch all the time.
When he pulls out the primary lotus, yeah, John Thurlong, bro, that was. I think I used a clip from that fight too when he used the primary lotus against Kakazu. Even though that wasn't Kakazu, that it was a shadow clone, but that was still dope. Like
water clone.
Water clone. Yeah, sorry, not a shadow clone. But yeah, bro, that fight was goated. So like, yeah, it's a lot of fights in Naruto that I can say that were like elite. Like maybe the animation isn't as great as Boruto because this is a newer series, so of course the animation is going to be a lot better. So I mean that's only logical. I would hope the animation would be a lot better. So they got them there, but what the hell? Or you say you'd be right back? I didn't know you was going to just pop up like that.
My bad.
Scared the hell out of
me. Well, no, I was just my bad. I was just saying. I think you guys hit the main difference. I believe between Boruto and Naruto has to be the depth of the fight. I think, just flat out, I think that Boruto has more appealing fights in regards to the eye, how it looks. But the depth behind the Naruto fights, 100%, that has it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like Boruto fights are really, like they're really good. This is a shonen, and they kind of tell their narratives through combat.
Right.
So and I personally always say, Naruto as a series is just better than Boruto, and it's better because of that depth. And I think in the fights,
I gotta disagree with that.
Really
I gotta disagree. Yo, I'm not gonna be up here and say Boruto is a perfect series, but what I will say is, I'm more entertained watching Boruto than I am watching Naruto. Part 1, Shippuden is a completely different level, but Part 1 Boruto, where it's little Otsutsuki members coming down, fighting to actually destroy the planet, things such as that. There's just so much higher stakes in Boruto. Now the depth of the fight not necessarily might not necessarily be there, but yeah, the anime,
like manga.
Okay, yeah, anime. Part 1 Boruto versus Part 1 Naruto. I'm sorry, I might have to go with Part 1 Boruto. The stakes is just way too high. I mean, at this point, like literally the next chapter or in 2 chapters, no one would be surprised if you tell us right now, hey, Sasuke's dead. Like that. It's that type of thing with Boruto. With Naruto, to a certain extent, but it was never really like that. It was never really like the world is in peril or something like that. It was, of course, hey, we want to save Sasuke from Orochimaru. We want to, hey, figure out exactly what's going on with Orochimaru trying to take over the Hidden Leaf Village. Hey, why Danzo try to kill the third Hokage? Hey, what's going on with the Akatsuki trying to pull up on Naruto right now? It was things such as that. But the peril was never like really there as how it is within Boruto. Like things legitimately can go down at any given moment.
I think you're arguing scale though, aren't you? Like you're saying like the stakes are higher because it's like planetary, at times maybe even like multi-galaxy.
I think the stakes and the fights are just significantly better. That's what makes it a better series for me. And again, I think it's all personal preference. Like, for example, some people will say Death Note is the best anime of all time. Some people say Demon Slayer is the best anime of all time. Two completely different series, but you understand why someone would like one over the other. Again, it's kind of like
Yeah,
the yeah, so it's kind of like the Attack on Titan, not Attack on Titan. It's kind of like the Demon Slayer thing with me and Boruto. It just looks so good. I'm sorry, the stakes are just high. It looks so good. I mean, even though Death Note and Naruto has amazing storylines, me personally, I'd rather Death Note over Demon Slayer. Just using this as an example, you'd see why someone would pick Demon Slayer. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, no, definitely. And this is all subjective.
Mhm.
I definitely respect your take. Um, I'm not one of these people who just like fanboy over Naruto, just because it's Naruto. No, I definitely respect your take. This my thing is,
Mm.
I feel like if you want to argue scale, to me, it's just I can relate more with the stakes in Naruto than I could with like the stakes in Boruto. Like, yeah, it's really interesting that like the entire world's on the line, or like Cole is he's gonna hop from planet to planet, absorb this or that, wiping out entire civilizations across the cosmos. That's interesting, but like that's so grand a scale that I can't really wrap my little primitive lizard brain around that. But like a shinobi wanting to assassinate his Kage because he's incorporating, ushering in like this bad reputation for the Mist Village. So like Zabuza teams up with these bands of assassins. Like that's interesting.
Mhm.
Or like, hey, we want to Orochimaru has like a vendetta against his old teacher, so he sneaks into he creates the Sound Village and kills the Kazekage so he can get into the Leaf Village during the tuning exams, and he so on and so forth. You watch the series, so you know the stories. But
Mhm.
to me, that's like it's more rooted, it's more relatable, and to me, if we're arguing scale, I don't just in my opinion, I just think the the lower the stakes are, and for instance, like to me, I like it when Spider-Man is trying to save the city, not when he's trying to save like the universe.
I see
I
what you're
think
talking about.
I think that kind of sums it for me. But yeah,
Yeah, there's
that's
better
just
storytelling. Hmm.
yeah, it's more personal. It's more relatable. Like, yeah, the universe, it's important, more important than a city for sure. But like I've lived in cities. I've been through cities. I know what a city is. I can wrap my mind around a city. And Spider-Man saving the city is something that's big. Spider-Man saving the world while I live on the world. I can kind of recognize that. But like the galaxy and multiple dimensions and aliens, and that's heavy, man. That's really heavy. But like Shinobi and like yeah, Naruto dying on a bridge is not as big as like the universe being taken over by alien deities, but it's
Hmm.
still really impactful. Like it's just good. It's just
See,
good stuff. It's just good stuff.
no, 100%. I definitely understand it. I think Boruto, though, they're in a difficult position where I think they can have a lot of substance behind their fights, but it cannot be on the city level. And I even think that the Boruto anime is having difficulties with that right now, where they're literally. I know this is like they're fighting over the hidden mist village and no one is blinking an eye. It's like no one cares. Like we were talking about this earlier. Free games like, I don't know. We don't really care. It's like we don't care unless there's Ishiki Otsuki stomping Sasuke's jaw into the pavement. We don't care. I'm sorry.
I just maybe you know what? Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. And I'm trying my best not to sound like condescending to the
Mm,
people who don't care, because like I understand like um you know, Ishiki Otsutsuki is like really shiny. He's really cool. And the fights are really cool and so on and so forth. But like, there's something about like crafting a really good narrative and having the stakes be kind of grounded and rooted in something tangible for the viewers.
Which is why I like the current arc right now. And I don't necessarily want to be too, you feel me, too pro Boruto right now, but there's literally multiple things like no, you haven't necessarily seen it, so I know you said you didn't want to be spoiled, so I'm gonna spoil a couple of things. Like Kagura
I'm
was
fine.
literally about to. No, I'm
No, I'm
just saying,
fine
like,
with I've missed the
yeah, I
last
see what you mean.
4 episodes.
Yeah, so I'm about to spoil a couple of things. So, for example, I think this right here was like impeccable writing. There's literally a whole war. Kagura is like one of the main generals, and one of the members on Kagura's team like literally tried to assassinate him before the war is popping off. Kagura's worried about multiple things. He got to worry about this thing now. Not only that, before that, there was a person that actually died on a boat. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff going on right now in the Hidden Mist Village. And I don't know, it just doesn't
Bar,
spark people's attention.
what happened to that dude that Boruto and Ikata saved?
He's just chilling. Like they didn't necessarily have any connection with him.
But you didn't even see him in a boat no more though. Like when Boruto fell, never mind. It was weird to me. I was like, what happened to that dude, bro? Like he didn't. He didn't say thanks, nothing.
Bro, I'm
You
not
didn't
even
see
sure.
him,
I
right?
think it was
You didn't see him no more.
the actual point of that episode was for us to show that Ikata had the powers. Okay, by the way, Ikata is like you know Ikata, Mel. You said you left off with it when you seen the boy. That guy in itself, he is supposed to be a part of the enemy team. Again, another another depth behind his arc. He's supposed to be a part of the enemy team, but he's a part of the Hidden Mist Village because he legitimately likes to build ships. And now he built a connection with Boruto and the rest of the Hidden Mist ninjas. And now in the last episode, because Boruto essentially packed up his sister, he's turning on Boruto too, and he's supposed to be legitimately the strongest member of the Funato clan potentially. So I don't want to be sit here and just gush over the anime. I don't really got a lot of people to talk about the anime too, so I don't know, man. I don't know.
I can.
But
watched it.
but for me, I this is the kind of stuff I love. Like because me and you have had this conversation many times about like the fillers and stuff. Like to me, I don't consider it filler. If it happens in the anime, to me, it's canon, and I don't really get into the whole
Yep.
canon. To me, it's nonsensical. But like this stuff, I love. Like, hey, this is a show about shinobi. It's not just that anymore. Of course, it's sci-fi, but it's still like the shinobi is still like the foundation, right? Which the show is built on. So let's do some shinobi stuff. And this is the kind of stuff like when I saw Sarada actually be a team captain and like delegate responsibility, and she went with Mitsuki and like and Kawaki went with Boruto and Kagura, and they're actually like on a mission. And like Boruto and what's the girl with the blonde hair? I forgot her name.
I forgot her
The
name, too.
lightning girl. But you know
I
what
know
I'm
who
talking
you're
about.
talking about. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, and Kawaki have to infiltrate that that what was it, ship or something. That to me, like, it's so small, but it's cool to actually see them be ninjas on a mission doing ninja stuff. Just seeing like Mitsuki and Sarada in a tree doing like recon really got me excited. It's like that small stuff that I really like.